Hello POA, this is going to be a guide on how you are getting and receiving tickets in the new TeamDynamix ticketing system, which is powering the Maricopa Help Desk. So our vendor is changing and we are moving to this new system, and I want to make sure that you have the tools and resources needed to continue supporting the campus as far as our printing resources are concerned. So we're going to go ahead and start by how those tickets come in and how they're escalated to your team directly. So currently you're familiar with the printer help form. That's how users report that they are having an issue with the printer, they need toner, they have a paper jam, something like that. They fill out that form comes to the service desk, and then it's put into the work order system and routed to you. That was the current process. In this system, we can kind of skip that first step. So the form has been built into the system. It's no longer a separate form. It's been built into this system, and this form will be replacing the dynamic form that was previously used. And then on top of that, it now will automatically route to the POA team and doesn't require manual input by the service desk. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through how that happens, and then we'll take a look at where those tickets go. So I'm going to go ahead and click on services, and then we will find the form here. So we're going to look for computer devices and printing support. That's the category, and then printing. And then we have a few buttons off to the side over here where either an issue can be reported with printing services. This one will come to the service desk, or we have the printer help form, which will continue serving the same services to the campus as the previous printer help form. It still has the same requirements, so it'll ask for the requester. This is a contact field, is a CC field, so they can add more than one person here. So just for the purpose of this video, I'll go ahead and add Justin Bruce to my ticket. The campus is going to be either the main or north campus, just like our current form. The buildings are available here, so I will select High Tech 1, 114. We will say that permission to enter is granted. For the printer name, we will use EHT1114 -LJ600. The equipment ID, this is going to be the equipment ID that your team is familiar with. I believe they start with MCCC 0001234. Okay. We'll say that I am requesting toner. HT1 is out of cyan toner. Please replace. And we'll click submit. So that is how a user is going to submit a request, right? Somebody like from our High Tech 1 building or the admin building or any building on campus that needs to report an issue with their printer that requires support, or to request a consumable like toner, right? So that's how they'll submit that. And then as admins of the system, we're going to go to TD next to get to the technician side. So when you come to help.maricopa.edu and go to the GCC client portal, the way that you're going to get to the technician side of this portal is by selecting TD next. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. You'll see that there is a desktop and a ticketing app up here. If these are not open for you already, you can click on this blue waffle icon, and you'll see that we have a few options here. This is going to be the options that are available here are going to be based on your access in the system, but you will have access to desktop. That is like a view that you can configure yourself. You'll have access to the help button. That's always going to be the last, and then the ones that are in between here will be in alphabetical order, and you may have more or less than these depending on how much access you have. So I'm going to go ahead and select the GCC ticketing app. That will open this tab up here if it's not open already. And then when you go to your tickets, you'll be able to see the tickets that are in the system for Pacific Office Automation. So you can see that this ticket automatically, the one that was submitted here, was automatically assigned to GCC POA. And it gives you kind of an overview of what information is here before you open it. So this is has me listed as a requester, right? It's a request. It's unassigned. It's in the GCC POA group. And then if I click on this ticket to open it, this is where we start to get into our actions. So it's going to open in a new window, and then we've got a few things to take a look at here. So down at the bottom, this is where the updates are going to be. If you want to notify the requester that this has been fulfilled, for instance, you can click notify, and it will allow you to change the status of the ticket and to add a note, and it's going to notify the parties that are CC'd on this ticket. So it'll notify POA, it'll notify the requester, it'll notify the contacts that were CC'd on this. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and remove POA so it doesn't just send you guys an email. I'm also going to ask it not to send you this test email. But we'll say that I am going to go ahead and say toner is en route. Be there soon, as an update that this is being just considered currently, that, you know, the resolution is on its way. And then I will go ahead and click save. You can see that that changed this status up here to in process. Down here in the ticket feed, we can now see the note that was left, who it was sent to, and who made the changes, right? So I changed the status from new to in process. This is the message that was sent, toner is en route, be there soon, and it notified both the requester and the person who was copied on that. And then there's a date and a timestamp, right? So now, if I am done with that and I would like to close this ticket, I can do the same thing again. I can change this to resolved. Resolved is going to be the status that we use when we close a ticket. It will automatically change to closed by itself after 5 days. So we'll go ahead and put it in resolved. That gives the customer time to respond to us, 5 days, to say, hey, this actually isn't resolved, or this didn't fix my problem. That's why we use that. If you use closed and then the customer replies, it's going to open a new ticket. So if you used resolved and they replied within 5 days, it will just reopen this ticket. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to put the status as resolved now. Again, I'm going to say don't notify that group just for testing purposes. I will say this has been fulfilled. And then I will come down here. I will get rid of that group so it doesn't generate an email. You can add anybody who has a GCC email address, you can add them in here. And then if they have like an @Pacific Office Automation or another vendor email, those will go in this other email addresses notification bar. If you needed to add attachments, you can do that down here at the bottom. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and click save. That has updated this ticket status to resolved. And again, if I go down here in the feed, you'll see that this status changed from in process to resolved. I'm the one who changed it, the note, who was notified, and the time and date that that happened. If you need to edit any of the information that is in the ticket over here, like for instance, if the wrong equipment ID was entered or it's the wrong location, you can click edit. And then you have access to change these fields here, and you can click save when you're done with that. We're going to go ahead and go back to the ticket. If you can either close that window or you can click the go to detail button that was at the top, and that'll bring you back to this page. Under actions, we have a few things, a few actions that you can take. So this is, you can reassign the service request. You can unassign it. If you took it and you're not going to be able to work on it, somebody else needs to respond to it, you can unassign it from yourself. You can reassign it to another group or to another person. So responsibility now, before we used to have assigned person and assigned group, so they were separate. Now they are combined into one field. So this can be the service desk, If I type the service in here, you'll see that it populates service desk. It can also be a person directly, like, oops, Ashley, like myself, right? So it can be assigned to a person or to a group. That's where we'll find POA. The group can be selected there. You can notify the group that you're sending something and why you're sending it. So I'll go ahead and get rid of that. And then under actions, we also will have a few other things that might be useful, like copy. You can use that to duplicate another service request. Like it'll pull in all of the information from the previous one. You can make changes as needed to this and then click save it to create a second ticket. And then you can merge it. If it's a duplicate ticket, you can merge it into another ticket. You have to have the other ticket number to do that. And then I think that's it as far as what might be useful to POA. Hopefully that answers all of the questions that you have about how these tickets are created, escalated to the POA print group, and then how to update them, how to close them. If you have any additional questions beyond this, please feel free to reach out to the service desk for support.